All right, it's my pleasure to be here with the amazing football star, White House star, economic recovery star, Scott Turner, Executive Director of the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council. He's agreed to talk with us for a few minutes here today. I'm going to ask 3 questions, Scott, if it's all right.
Perfect.
And then we have some students that would like to ask you some questions.
All right.
And of course, we've got to start with some football.
Let's go.
So there may be others, but it's not a typical path to go from an NFL football star to White House all-star. Right at the right time, right? Leading maybe, one of the most important times in our recent history, the economic recovery from this. Tell us a little bit about what you learned in football that you're applying now and how it applies to your leadership role here.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff, for having me, and thank you for your leadership at the Sorenson Impact Center. Playing in the National Football League, you learn a lot of life skills. One, you learn how to work as a team. You learn that, the game and the team is bigger than just one individual. And one thing that I was so grateful to have was the opportunity to serve my teammates off the field. To play football, is a great blessing to be able to play in the National Football League. But football will end for every player that ever plays, whatever level you play, pee-wee, junior high, high school, college, pros, it will end one day. And so I had great mentors around me when I got drafted by the Washington Redskins, and Darryl Green and Tim Johnson, other men like Sherman Smith and Aeneas Williams and Gilbert. And these men taught me that football is a small piece of the pie, but your character is really what will open doors for you, and that's what's going to last, and that's how you make an impact, is by way of your character and serving people and helping people to fulfill their potential. And so I learned that as a very young man in the National Football League. My wife and I, my wife Robin, we would host fellowships and Bible studies and convenings at our home in the NFL. For players, to come and just be a person, just be, an individual, you and your wife and your children, and we would have fellowship together. We served them for over 8 years as I played. And so when I transitioned out of the NFL and went into a public servant role in the Texas House of Representatives, it was the same vein, the same heart of servant leadership and helping others to be great and being a voice and an advocate for people. And so when the opportunity came with this new assignment with the White House last April, it just fit the vein in which I had been called to serve and serving my fellow man and to help people to be great, to help people to fulfill their potential, to see people maybe that have been underserved or see people that have maybe gone through a hard time. Because needless to say, in the NFL, you see on Sunday it's a great game, but those are real men with real life issues and circumstances, children with illnesses, the loss of a spouse, financial ruin, marriages on the brinks. And so when you look at that and how my wife and I were able to be used in such a way to help them, in football, in ministry, in the legislature, and now at the White House, this is really a dream come true to now serve the people of America in underserved communities.
Amazing.
People that have not been served properly or may have gone through difficult situations, communities, individuals, families. And so I say all that to give you the context and the history to say what I'm doing now has been something that the Lord has really called me to for the last 25 years, and that's serving my fellow man.
All right. Just on a bigger and bigger stage.
Yes, the United States is my canvas.
All right. Well, I know you're not here to announce your candidacy, but let us know.
No.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I hope we picked up on that leadership component. One thing he didn't mention, but in my research I realized, is you started your political career as an intern.
I did.
After the NFL, after college, after everything you'd done as an intern.
Yes.
So no job too small if you have a servant attitude.
No.
I appreciate that leadership.
No, that's a great point.
Thank you. We're here to announce some exciting news for Utah, rural Utah, and economic recovery, and some plans that we hope can help with that. And as you know, we've been following opportunity zones across the country and highlighting different things, and there are so many amazing things going on in so many different ways. We don't technically have favorites. We have some that we've highlighted that we really like. You officially can't have favorites, I'm sure, but Tell us some of the exciting stories you've seen. What's the potential here? Give us some sense of things that you've seen as you've gone across the country supporting opportunity zones in this economic recovery.
Well, sure. I was appointed by the president in April of last year, April the 4th. My first trip was April the 17th or 18th with Dr. Ben Carson, Secretary Carson, to Birmingham, Alabama. And from that point, from April to mid-April of 2019 until right before COVID shut down all travel, I had the opportunity to go to almost 70 cities, over 65 cities, rural, urban, and tribal. And so I've seen some amazing, not just projects, but developments, operating businesses. And the thing that really has really touched me the most, Jeff, is to see the people of America coming together to collaborate with one another. See, the thing about opportunity zones and the thing about the council is we have convening authority to bring people together at the table at the same time. So if you can imagine, as you and I are sitting here, well, just imagine with us, it'll be elected officials, community leaders, developers, entrepreneurs, faith leaders, education leaders to come to the table at the same time to talk about the pain of the community, to talk about, the distress in the community. But then before we leave, hey, what is the strategy for long-term sustainability? How can we make a generational impact here? And it's such a beautiful thing to see, and it crosses political lines, it crosses ethnicity, it crosses socioeconomic lines, because people are coming together to bring about a strategy whereby there hasn't been any type of revitalization in a community in a long time, but there's people there, there's citizens there, there's families there. And so you take Birmingham, Alabama, that took the American Life building and repurposed it for workforce housing. You take Colorado Springs that has only 6 opportunity zones, but yet they have a regional approach, so that everyone around the region can benefit from the opportunity zone tool and initiative. Place in Cleveland, Ohio, in Northeast Cleveland, in the Tremont area. There's a first-time business owner with a new bakery. Well, on that same opportunity zone site, there's around 94, 95 units of workforce housing.
Wow.
So you have new bakery, new business, retail, and housing, which is really spectacular. You look in some of our rural areas. We were just in Baxter, Tennessee, a couple of weeks ago, handing out an EDA grant that they won and were awarded. And there's a manufacturing company, a ceramic tile company, I believe, coming to build their headquarters in Baxter, Tennessee, with a population of 1,390 people, which will create hundreds of jobs and economic revenue and really social impact, because now the community is impacted as well as the economy. And so, and there's so many more. Erie, Pennsylvania, they're doing a great job in the redevelopment of their downtown area. Solar impact in South Central LA. Now we're here in Utah, here at the Union Building, and the great potential here in rural Utah, which could be a great catalyst and example for other rural communities around America. And as you can tell, I'm really passionate and excited about when I see great things happening.
Amazing.
But I will say that the people of this country, and you're not going to see it a lot on the media, but the resiliency and the fortitude of the American people in places that are distressed and that have not been served in decades, to see them yet to have a smile on their face, joy in their heart, and excitement about this opportunity zone initiative to use it to bring about new life, I wish it's something everybody could see.
All right, I agree, and we're trying to show a little bit of that with our films and the things we're doing there. So I heard a couple of things there. I heard, first of all, you didn't say this, but you implied it. We've been through tough times before as a country, and what's brought us through is coming together, a can-do attitude, a resiliency, and what I'm getting the sense that you and the council are bringing to this is some structural support for that. Where maybe in the American West, maybe we built our own roads and our own sidewalks and whatever. So this is some infrastructure support, and you're taking this togetherness to one higher level, convening people. It sounds like diverse people on purpose, diverse perspectives, so that we can really, or you can really understand the needs of the community, and then craft strategies to address those needs in a structural, long-term way. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
That's amazing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that. Last question from me. We're talking about, just transitioning from that, the Rural Recovery Playbook that we're going to create together, that can be replicated across this state and then across all of the great states that wish to participate. We anticipate that. Tell us a little bit about where you see that going. What's the potential with that? Why a playbook? How can that help? And how can others piggyback on that? Where's this going? Okay. Where are we going with this?
Well, in the rural parts of America, in particular in opportunity zones, development is more difficult. Oftentimes in the rural communities, there will be one industry, agriculture or, what have you inside of those, or farming. And so it's a little bit more difficult in rural areas from an infrastructure standpoint, from a resource standpoint, from a population standpoint. But one thing about the playbook is a great tool, will be a great tool. And I really thank you and your leadership and the Sorenson Impact Center at the University of Utah to bring this tool to create pipeline of projects for collaboration, to teach how to properly utilize the tool of opportunity zones, because there's so much potential in our rural communities across America. And we've been to a lot of them, myself and our team on the council. And so I think the playbook will be a tremendous tool to utilize here in Utah, obviously, but across America, because COVID, when the COVID pandemic hit, our rural communities were severely impacted. Prior to COVID, it was already difficult to develop in rural communities. And then COVID came and obviously exacerbated that. But I believe, as we talked about before, because of the people that we have, now couple that and team that with the tool, a playbook. I mean, I literally had a career in studying playbooks.
Right.
And I understand that when you have a good playbook and you have a good strategy, it gives you a better opportunity to be successful. And so with this playbook for the rural communities, it is my hope and the hope of our team, and really the great expectation, that this will give a teaching tool, methods of investment, how to attract investment, how to create a pipeline, how to build a perspective, and how to come together regionally. So I'm excited about it.
It's coming through. It's coming through. I know I said that was my last question, but let me just ask this. This is a rhetorical question, but I just want to hear your response. The phrase in Washington, never waste a good crisis. Do you think that we can honestly come through this better and stronger if we do it right? Can we have, let's just keep on rural for right now, can we have rural economies that are more dynamic, that are more diverse, that are more resilient, that are more united, that are stronger if we do this right?
Yes, I absolutely do. A lot of times when you go through a crisis, I've been through crisis personally in my own life. We've been through crisis corporately as a people, as a country, for generations. And one thing I learned is that in a crisis, there's two things you can do. One, you can sulk and say, woe is me, or have an attitude like, I'm defeated, I'm the victim, I'm not coming out. I've never adopted that attitude. I've always adopted the attitude of, okay, this is the situation. What am I going to learn from it? How can I take advantage of this to be better when I come out than I was when I came in, whether it was self-inflicted or not, And obviously COVID was not self-inflicted upon America, it was inflicted by others. But anyway, through COVID, it's highlighted for us, one, the resiliency of our people. Two, teamwork is so important. It doesn't matter your political party, it doesn't matter your ethnicity, your creed, or your tongue. What matters is, do you want to come out of this victorious or not? I do. And I think there's so many people around our country that do. So yes, I believe we can come out stronger, but it's not going to just happen. We have to come together. In a huddle in the NFL, or football period, when you come in that huddle and those 11 men have just run a play, whether you were victorious on that play or not, you are coming back to the huddle. Although oftentimes nowadays I don't really huddle that much. But anyway, for the purpose of this, in the huddle, there's a lot of things that go on in 25 seconds. You're encouraging your teammates. You're picking them up. You're calling the play. And the mindset is, that play right there, we might not have won that play, but this next one, we'll win it. But it comes in the huddle. And in America, we have to huddle up together. But look, okay, let's call the play. And for me, the play is opportunity zones. The play has been called. The president has said it. He's put the team together. It's a green light. We've called the play. Now we're huddling up and say, here's the rural playbook. Okay? Here's the opportunity zone initiative. Now let's go.
All right.
And when we do that, I think we'll come out better than we were when we came in.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We have a couple of student questions.
Yes.
Would you like to call on them? Okay, we'll go Brent first.
Okay, Brent, you go first.
My name is Brent. I'm a senior at the University of Utah, studying film and media.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, how do we ensure that the Opportunity Zone incentive delivers long-term benefits to the people and communities throughout the country?
Well, first, congratulations to you, Brent, on being a senior at Utah. One thing that we have to do to ensure the success of this initiative, the long-term success, is that we have to continue to collaborate with each other. You've heard me use that word 2 or 3 times in this interview, to come together as a team of people. The Opportunity Zone gives us the opportunity for us to bring our talents together. Like when you set up this set today, everybody had an assignment, the lights, the microphones, the cameras. It's not just one person. And so to ensure the continued success and the long-term sustainability of this initiative, we have to work as a team. We have to collaborate. All of those stakeholders that I mentioned before, from the community, faith leaders, education leaders, elected officials, business owners, entrepreneurs, coming together with all of their skill sets and talents. I've seen it bear much fruit thus far. And I think as we continue to do that, for many, many years to come, more fruit will come to pass. And also that we keep in mind that this is not a government program. This is a privately led, locally led mission and initiative that so far outlasts all of us if we do it the right way. And thus far we have. And if we continue to do that way, which I know we will, then I think we can ensure the long-term sustainability and success of the initiative.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Did that help you out?
It did.
Awesome.
Hi.
Hi, Macy.
Nice to meet you. I actually just started here at the Sorenson Center, so I'm kind of,
Wonderful.
yeah, thanks. I'm just learning more as I'm here, and yeah, just excited to be here.
This is how it always is, Macy, getting to interview someone from the White House.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, let's see. So my question is, what do you want your legacy to be based on your time serving as the Executive Director of the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council?
Wow, Macy, that's a great question. You know, I serve on this council with a tremendous team of people from across 15 domestic agencies and 3 state and regional partners. And even a couple of my teammates are here today, Joel and Clay, Joel Fouchon and Clay Tubbs. Wonderful men and women that serve on this council with me. One legacy, to your point, one thing that I would like to leave is that I was a team player and that I was a servant leader, one who could bring people together and encourage people to bring their best every single day, no matter the difficulty. And that I was able to lead people in such a way that they made an impact not only in their sphere of influence locally, but across our country because of the work that we've done. You know, I get the privilege to work with Dr. Benjamin Carson, who's a living legend. And one thing that has made him who he is his humility. In all of his brilliance, he's one of the most humble men I've ever met. And I've done my best to fashion my own self in that way. Although I'm not as brilliant as he is, you know, I have to work really hard just, you know, but anyway, to walk in great humility day by day and to lay my life on the line for my country. And I think when it's all said and done and the Lord moves me on from this to whatever assignment he has for me, whenever that is that when people think about my name or think about Opportunity Zone, they'll know that I came and laid my life down to serve the people of this country the best way I could, so the people could fulfill their God-given potential, and that the people in this country who have been underserved now have a ray of hope to know, too, they can be great.
How's that?
Awesome. That was amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Anything else you want to say as we wrap? You want to share with the students or the community?
To you, Jeff, thank you. To the Sorenson Impact Center, thank you for your leadership and your work. To the students, I would say this: to take advantage of every day that you have, every opportunity you have, make it the best, and don't take it for granted. And if your dreams don't seem like they're going to come to pass, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen the way you think it's going to happen, don't give up. Because I'm a living witness that if you don't give up, that they will. And oftentimes difficulties shape you and get you ready to walk into your dream and walk into your destiny. And also I would say to the students, don't be afraid to go against the status quo. My great friend J.C. Watts, who used to serve in the United States Congress, told me that about 20 years ago. He said, never be afraid to go against the status quo. I've never liked to be common. I've never liked just to be part of the group or the clique or the club. I've always liked to stand out in such a way that my character speaks for itself, my hard work speaks for itself, and my love for people will bring others with me along the way. And I would encourage young people to do the same. Because at some point, this baton of leadership is going to be handed off. And it's going to be handed off to those that are ready to lead. If you are not ready to lead, you will not get the baton. But if you are ready to lead, you can get this baton and run with it for a long time. And I would say to the community, God bless you. Thank you for your resiliency and your fortitude. Thank you for having us here with the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council in the great city of Brigham, Utah. I'm excited to see what you will do here. And thank you for being a leader in our country. And I look forward to seeing you soon one day.
Thank you, Scott Turner. Thank you for your time and your insights. We're glad you're here and very grateful for your leadership.
Yes, sir. Thank you.